and welcome to Jim and Jay's final say after Man City at home, where Palace lost 1-0 with a last-minute goal. It was hard to take. I felt terrible after the game, which I think proves that I shouldn't let football affect me as much as it does. But it was a very frustrating result, mainly because I think Palace did enough. I think we can all agree Palace did do enough to get a result. Certainly didn't dominate the game by any stretch of the imagination, but contained City for 90 minutes and matched them in a lot of areas, particularly going forward and down the wings. So we looked like we were on a par with them. It looked like a first versus second clash. It was a good game. There was a lot of good quality from both sides. It was competitive and it was even. If you were an alien landing in South London and that was your first taste of football, I think you'd be difficult to say. If you said one of these teams is first and one of these is second, I don't think you'd be able to work it out. Why would an alien land in South London of all the places? So it was good. The goal was frustrating, not only because of the timing of it, but the manner of it, because really it probably was avoidable. And it's ironic, really, that Alex McCarthy, who was probably one of Palace's best players all game, was the one to spill it to the Man City striker's feet, the Man City striker whose name I can't even remember, let alone pronounce. So that was annoying. I think McCarthy had a very good game and pulled off some brilliant saves, particularly one-on-one against Nasri and a good save from Boney as well. He was excellent. So frustrating that he did that. The reaction of the defenders as well. Dan and Hangeland had brilliant games again, but maybe they were a bit slow. They were certainly they were on the back foot for that goal, and the striker reacted quicker. But then again, talking about 90 minutes of effort they've put in against City to hold them off. So it's understandable that they might let in one little upset. But of course, unfortunately, in the Premier League, that's what gets you. So it is frustrating. I think from a City point of view, it's probably the sort of win that quote unquote champions elect get, isn't it? A game where they weren't particularly on top that much, or certainly didn't dominate, but they've managed to eke out a win at the end there. So that's the sort of game that I think champions win. I know it's very early to say that, but there you go. And certainly with Chelsea losing and the rest of the title contenders not looking so good, you think maybe we've lost to the champions there. But a good performance from Palace all around. Suarez was brilliant again at left back. Bear in mind we didn't have two of our first choice back four, and Kelly and Hangeland I thought did well and did all right. We had no striker. We started with Yannick up front, and we did a video after Glenn left, and we said we still think there's a role for him at the club. We understand why he's gone and why he wanted to. Then the very next game, we've started with no striker because Wickham was injured, Murray's gone, Bamford's not really quite hit the ground yet, and Gale got overlooked, essentially. I do understand why he didn't start, because that role up top on your own isn't really Gale's role. But he probably would have been quite frustrated to not have started, bearing in mind there were literally no other strikers to pick from. But Yannick did all right, I thought, up front. He worked hard. He hasn't quite got that striker's instinct that someone like Gale's got, but he worked very hard. And then the whole team did. It was a good team performance. And, without meaning to drop a cliche, although we all know how much I love a cliche, it was a sort of performance, if they replicate that, 9 times out of 10 in the Premier League this season, we're going to be absolutely fine and we'll probably finish in the top half again. Of course, we know, being Palace, that it's the games against the smaller teams that actually we need to really kick on, and we lost quite a lot of, particularly home games last season against teams that were below us and we should beat. But there's a lot of positives from that game, and we've really got a good team. When you look at it, and if I was a neutral looking at that Palace team, I'd be very impressed, because it's good. It's got quality in every area, certainly in midfield. Cabaye was excellent. There's a really good video floating around on Twitter at the moment of Cabaye's highlights from the Man City game, and he just looks so class. He uses the ball really well, and maybe him playing in that defensive deeper role actually is the role for him, because he just gets on the ball more and uses it. I don't know what happened to Jordan Much. I don't even know if he's on the bench, because I got in late because I was selling FYP. So thanks for everyone that bought a copy of that. But I'd have liked to see Much come on as the number 10, but I don't even know if he's on the bench, to be honest. Anyway, we got options, which is nice, but it it just didn't really work for us on the day. It was just frustrating. So I think we deserved something from that game. You know, Gale had that chance at the end with a brilliant ball from Wilf. Kind of got on the wrong side of his foot. Punchin had a good chance with the header from Suarez cross. You know, we were putting some good balls in the box. We are dangerous. And I thought what was interesting was that City saw a lot of the ball around the edge of our box, but they always made sure they had men back because they were worried about the Palace on the break. And that shows a level of respect that teams at the top teams are now showing against Palace, because we can worry anyone in this division. So there you go, frustrating result, but not a frustrating performance by any stretch of the imagination. And we're still in top 4, so Champions League is still on. So there you go. I think it shows how far we've come as a club that we're getting frustrated by losing to the best team in the country, to be honest. So there you go, onwards and upwards. We've got a couple of Spurs away next. We can certainly get a result there, and then we got some winnable games coming up at home. So, and Watford away as well. So a chance to get some more points and claw back that title challenge on Man City. Good. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more of these videos. Drop a like below if you've enjoyed it, and comment with your thoughts on the game. Did you think Palace deserved a result? Was it harsh on the Eagles? Now here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts on the game, and we'll see you again very soon.
Hey guys, welcome back to Palace Fan TV. I'm Jay from the Eagles Beak, and you've already heard what Jim's had to say about our very late defeat to Manchester City this afternoon at Selhurst Park. And I've don't know about most of you guys out there, but watching this video, I'm really disappointed actually to lose that game against a team which, you know, hadn't conceded a goal, won all 4 of their games before heading to Selhurst Park, but we gave them a good game. It was an entertaining game, and it would have been an entertaining 0-0 had it have finished like that. The first half, Palace were exceptional. A few changes to the lineup, disappointing to miss Delaney, but for me, Hangeland is as good as Delaney, I think, and I think he proved that today. He had an excellent game at the back. He even managed to dribble through the midfield on one occasion, which is the confidence in all these players in the Palace shirt at the moment is fantastic. It really is, from all the way across the back line, through the midfield and up front. The players just feel confident on the ball, passing the ball, rather than, perhaps the last couple of seasons we were too quick to release the ball, pass on to somebody else and expect them to do something. But that first half today was excellent. We played Balassi up front because Wickham was injured. We also missed Delaney, as I mentioned. But missing those players, it didn't look to disrupt our play. Balassi, in that central striking role, perhaps doesn't have the same attributes as some of the other players we have, particularly Wickham. And I think second half, as the game wore on, we kind of missed Wickham for holding up the ball. We really needed that, I think, as the game went on and as City pressed us higher out of the pitch. But I think we deserved more out of the game than a defeat. I'm disappointed, but I think that says everything about the way the game went and how we performed. A couple of talking points. The main one was Scott Dan. It was a Sunday football tackle on Aguero, and there are suggestions that Dan went out to injure Aguero, and for me that's laughable, because we know what Scott Dan's like. It was a cynical challenge, but you have to say there were cynical challenges during the game from City players. Twice Toure made cynical challenges. The second one was straight through one of our players, which, that alone could have got a red card. So, swings and roundabouts. City players are moaning about a challenge on Aguero, which ended up seeing him go off for injury. But both teams are doing it, and it was one of those games. It was both teams were getting stuck in, and it was great to see, I have to say. Palace played some really good stuff. Kabay in the middle was excellent. MacArthur, for me, was man of the match. He just does what he does. Does what we expect him to do, but he's so good at it. We used to enjoy seeing the likes of Jednak and Ledley supplemented by MacArthur, but now we're playing with just one of those combative midfielders, and MacArthur is having an amazing season. He seems to link up well with Kabay. Kabay trusts him with the ball, which is great. That's perhaps an unlikely partnership. Punch and play well. Zaha, Balassi when they're on. I couldn't name one player that actually had a poor game. Papa Soiree impresses me with every game he plays. Fantastic in the left back. And who'd have thought, the one position perhaps that we're struggling with at the moment is right back. I think Kelly had a decent enough game, perhaps contributed, as did a couple of other players, to the play that led to the goal at the end. But it's hard to criticise any players for that performance because I think we looked excellent. We certainly worried Manchester City. I mean, towards the end of the game, they made their last substitution. Their defenders were, hands on their knees, getting a breath, which shows to me that they've been in a game, perhaps didn't expect to be in quite such a game. I know we're in good form, but I don't know whether people take us seriously as a team. We could have had a penalty in the game. Kabay tripped in the box, surrounded by City players. The ref waved play on, but for me it was a trip. A few other decisions went here and there, but McCarthy made a great save in the first half, and some people are saying he was at fault for the for the goal that won the game for City. It's harsh. I mean, the shot from Nasri came in from a crowd of players. I'm not one to use a blame game. Perhaps he could have. I don't know. He seemed at full stretch, and fair play to the City strikers coming. But McCarthy almost got to the shot as well. So it's kind of, for me, it's the one that got away. It was a point, heading for a point for us. But we've dropped to fourth in the table tonight, and after 5 games, and 3 of those 5 games against 3 of last season's top 4. If we'd have said 9 points by this point in the season, then I think a lot of people would have been very happy. So I'm happy. We head to Tottenham away next week, and that's a fixture that we've generally had some success with. Not so much the away game, but we beat Tottenham at home and we drew away with them last season. So I'm looking forward to the match-up for sure. And the way we're playing at the moment, I'm just hoping with Punchin and Blatty going off injured today, that they're not too serious to allow them to miss next week. But hopefully we'll have a few of those players back for next week's game, which is live on Sky on Sunday. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions for us, leave and subscribe to the videos, of course, but leave your comments below this video for me and Jim, and we'll take them on board in future weeks. But thanks for watching. A disappointed Palace fan here, but I'm very proud of the performance, and come on Palace.